Hey, it's Miss Shaw. I hope you're doing well at home. Today, the first thing I'm going to teach you guys, which is sometimes you have at home, is how to make chicken noodle soup that really is easy, and it takes just stuff you have. The first thing is chicken broth, okay? If you are a small family like myself, this will be fine. If you are a larger family, use this chicken. Whoa, I must have been something boy, that scared me. Anyways, use bigger chicken broth, okay? Everything you have, you can use, okay? Next, you will need pasta. For a small family like myself, I'm only going to do 1 cup. If you have a larger family, you might do 2 cups. You may even do the whole box, okay? It is your choice and stuff. The next thing you're going to do is sometimes you go to KFC, and I'm sorry, but I had to pause it and grabbed my chicken because I forgot to get. Sometimes you have a piece of chicken, or 2, or 3, leftovers that you did not eat from the day before or a couple days before. I went out and I went to KFC. I wanted some chicken. Here's what you're going to do with the chicken. You're going to debone it, okay? So grab a bowl and we're going to debone it. If you have brothers or sisters at home, as I said, oh, excuse me, I didn't say this because I practiced before I actually get on to video. Have them help you. I'm going to have to move this over a little bit. I'm working from something called a chef's table I have in my kitchen. It gives me more counter room. Okay, I'm going to take the skin off because we do not need it. Okay, and you're going to do something called debone the chicken. Debone just means getting the meat off, putting it in, like this meat, into the pot. Okay, sorry I can't do it. Based on how my phone, I'm able to hold it, not really hold it, but put it on, it only goes upward. So you can make large chicken chunks like I'm going to try to show you here. Well, it's hard to tell. Large chicken chunks, okay? Okay? And I do it meaty. Now, if you do have a large family, like I said, use the larger chicken broth. The amount of chicken you put in, it could be little or a lot. Just put in what you have or what you can use, okay? If you do not have chicken, that's okay. You don't have to do this. This can be just saved for some other time when you might go out to KFC, or if you use chicken at home, like your mom, your dad, or somebody actually, excuse me, probably my phone's going to get dirty after this. It's just leftover chicken. It's some way of using what you have to do better, okay? So while I'm talking to you and stuff, I'm going to I might have to stop and I'm going to have to pause this because I'll have to wash my hands. I'm using 2 types of chicken. One's KFC and the other one was dinosaur and stuff. If you have chicken in your freezer that is raw and you would like to make chicken noodle soup, you can do that as well. Defrost the chicken first so that you don't do it. And if you need to go back and rewind this, be my guest. If you need to pause it because I'm going too fast, that's fine too. This is to be done at your pace, okay? So this is kind of nice. Not all done with the chicken, but and stuff. You can use a knife to chunk up. I'm just really tearing the chicken up. Okay, see, large pieces, I'm just tearing up. To me, I'm thinking that's better. But some people like chunks. That's fine too. It really, really is. And stuff. If you have questions, as I always say, comment below. I will answer them as soon as I can. And I will try to check my YouTube account a lot. Okay? So I'm going to pause this while I go wash my hands so we can do the second step. Okay, I've washed my hands, and what you're going to need is a pot. Now, I have this, as I said, I am a smaller family, but if you have a bigger family, use a bigger pot. All you need to do is put some water in here, okay? So while I go put the water in, I'm going to pause this. So when I say pause, that means I'm truly pausing it. And then you can pause it too, and you can pretty much almost follow along with me, okay? Okay, so while I was paused, I filled up my water, and I also pulled some more chicken off the bones that I can use. Fill your water to about halfway full in the pot. That gives it room. I filled it up, and then I overfilled it, so unfortunately, I have to put more water in than I just realized. So I took too much out. Okay. So I'll try to show you the water. Okay. So that's just plain water. Now, so you got to see some of my house or some of my kitchen. You're going to put this on the stove. Actually, I have to put it back down. Okay. So we're going to go up. On my thing, I have found that I cannot flip it over to show you. So I have to literally, unless I start in the opposite direction, I'm not able to like just flip it where some phones you are. So what I'm going to do is just put the pot on, and guys and gals, I always put it to 6. Now, some people salt their water with salt. I don't do that. I put a little oil in. My mom taught me, my mom did it, so I do it as well. But if you want salt, put salt in, okay? So you salt the water. While I'm doing that, I'm turned it on to about 6. I don't do high just because I don't want the water going all over, and a lot of times doing other things kind of helps. And you can see some of my other kitchen area as well. Yes, I have a lot of stuff. Just ate breakfast, so see, I gotta do my dishes soon. So while we're waiting for the water to boil, I'm going to pause this so you can go put water in the pot if you're doing this with me, and that's it. Okay, so pause. Hey, I'm still letting the water boil, but in the meantime, we can start getting a lot of things ready too. I got the chicken already put in the bowl, so I know too when I do start doing the soup. Sorry, I'm a little... I just ate my breakfast, and I'm doing this for lunch. So, sometimes you'll have a pop-top can on this. Guess what? This doesn't have a pop top. So I have to use something called a can opener. Some people have the electric can opener. Some have the hand like I do. There's a variety of different types. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a paper towel. I'm going to go into my sink, turn the water. My father taught me how to do this. You wipe the can top. Then he says, so I'm quoting my father, you take your thumbnail. You put your thumbnail into kind of the groove of the can with the paper towel, and you wipe that around. I can't really do thumbnail too well, and so sometimes what I do is I use my pointer finger, like I do that now. I use my pointer finger, and I go around the can as much as I can, okay? So I'm kind of cleaning it off. Okay. Next, you take a can opener. Some people do can openers this way, okay? I was always, when I learned it, I learned to put it this way. You can do it either way, depending on how you were taught. Not a big deal, sorry. Oh, I have an itchy nose. Okay, so, whew, have some stuff falling down almost. Okay, so I'm going to open up this stock to get it ready. Now, here's the thing I'll tell you. Do not worry too much about the stock. If you say, I don't have enough chicken stock, you can always add water to make it more, to make more broth, okay? Or if you have a larger container and you're doing the smaller portion, just cut this in half. you're going to measure it based on your needs and what you have, okay? So the way my soup will look is going to be different from yours, okay? This is a basic chicken noodle soup. So I'm just going to give you the basic ingredients, and then afterwards you can add it up in, as we call, zhuzh it, okay? And the word zhuzh it means just adding things to it. You may add potatoes, okay? You may add corn. You may add vegetables, the vegetables you like. If you don't like vegetables, like my grandfather hated vegetables, you do the basic, okay? Still looking to see if the water's going, and it's not, so... Because I'm going to be staying in the kitchen, I'm going to turn it up to high. Hopefully, cross my fingers, it goes about, okay? So I'm going to pause it. Actually, I'm not even going to pause it. Sorry, my hand went over. So come on over, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to just turn it up to high. As you, hopefully you can tell. I hate trying to do this. I like it the other way where I could flip it around. Okay, so my water is starting to boil. So I know I'm going to be very soon going to a boil, okay? And stuff. And guys, if you were in the classroom with me, you'd be like, oh. So I understand. That's why I pause it. It's starting to... I can hear it too. So I'm using my sense of hearing to know that the water is going to start boiling. Okay. I don't put anything in because what I'm going to do is the pasta. Now this is about a half a box of pasta. With me being one person, I might not use it as much. Now remember, what you see, the pasta is dried, so it has shrunk. So when we put the pasta in water, it's going to expand. It's going to get bigger. Okay? So just know that it is going bigger. So if, say, kind of like keeping it, I don't know why I itch my face a lot, but I just do, especially when I talk a lot. So just know. So I'm just going to use, like I have a half. I'm going to use half of a half, which is about, what do you think? A quarter of what I have. So I'm going to only use a quarter of this entire box. Okay? See? You learned some math when cooking. So half of a half is a quarter. Okay? I only have a box of pasta. Okay? And I'm not using all of it, so I'm going to use half of what I do have, which is a quarter of a box. Okay? If you have a larger family, you can use the whole thing. If you want it for a couple of days, you use it. This chicken, you can take a whole box and the chicken would do it. I'm making mine more meatier. If you didn't, it's starting to boil. If you did not have like a whole chicken, you just have breasted chicken, that's fine. Okay? So I am going to put the pasta in and set the timer, okay? So I'm going to pause it and we'll be back, hopefully. Hi, everybody. Okay, I just looked to see how much you have to cook this pasta for. And sometimes it has it on the back. So, it says 5 quarts of water, salt, or I put oil in it. Boil uncovered for 9 to 11 minutes and stir occasionally, okay? So, reading is important. I had to try to figure out how much time I had to put on for it. Originally, I have 7 minutes, but I'm going to add a little bit more minutes to my timer, okay? I use my oven timer because that is separate from any other timers I have and stuff. Now, one thing it is I'm going to go into my cabinet down here, right here, and I'm going to find something called a strainer. The strainer should be in here. Last time I checked. Oh, there it is. Okay. This is a strainer. You guys, some of you have seen it when I've cooked at school. You've seen it go, what? When we have to like clean like fruits and vegetables to make stuff. So that's what we're going to do once the noodles are done. So set your timer. You can have 7, 8, 9. Okay, a couple more minutes. You can have different timers. We're even going to head into my lovely dining room. My grandfather put this up, and of course it started peeling, so I'm taking it down. So I'm redoing my house. I do it by myself, so a little bit. And yes, my dining room, this summer I'm having somebody actually fix that. We had a hole put in because I had a leak upstairs on my toilet. So I'm using my oven timer. Another type of timer you can use is this type of timer. Or you guys on your phones, you have your timers there. You just press time, you say what time it is, and then when it dings, you're done. With the pasta, though, I want to tell you, stir it occasionally, which means when it goes in, stir it, and then, maybe do something quickly, come back and stir it again, okay? Now, that you can kind of leave on your own, on itself until the timer goes. Make sure you're nearby so you hear the timer. A lot of times what people do is they'll start the pasta and then do the fixings. I did the fixings first to show you what we're going to do, and then did the boiling. The steps to make it's not that complicated, but all I ever say is try your best. Parents, it's a science experiment, it's a math, and it's cooking, and it's a life skill, okay? So I'm going to pause this, and then once I have drained the pasta, or maybe I might show you draining the pasta, I will be back. And I know it looks like I'm looking down a lot, but I'm looking at myself, so maybe I got to do this. Hi. Okay. See you in a bit. All right, the timer is going to go off. Actually, I'm going to turn the timer off because it's about 9 minutes. Probably I did 8 minutes or so. Because what's going to happen, excuse me, I just came from upstairs in my house, is we're going to drain the pasta and then start with making our chicken noodle soup. Okay, now the noodles can be any noodles you want. You can do elbow noodles, you can do spaghetti noodles if you want to, linguine noodles. It doesn't matter what noodles you use. It doesn't matter what pasta you use, okay? Now, what I did is I'm going to use the same pan because I don't like doing dishes. That's one thing. I do not like doing dishes. I've turned it down to 2. You can turn it down to low. If you want to do this quickly and you want it done like, oh my gosh, I got to do it now, you can up the temperature. Just make sure you're continuously stirring stuff. And make sure the noodles definitely are fully cooked. I got them a little bit called al dente, which means lightly cooked. So what we're going to do is I'm pouring in the chicken broth. Okay, I'm going to show you right there. Now, I don't like my chicken soup with a lot of broth, okay? So I'm just going to use this broth. If you need more soup or you don't have a lot of chicken broth, don't let anybody add water. Okay, you can always add water. It will dilute it, but that's okay. Add some salt and pepper to it. Okay, so I'm going to take my chicken. Look at that chicken. Okay, I'm going to put the chicken in. So it's all set. And we're now going to put the noodles in. I might not use all these noodles, but that's okay. Yeah, I might. Okay. Now, as I said, I don't like a lot of broth. So, as I said, if you only have a can, add water. Now, for me, I do have more broth, so I will be adding the broth to it. I open my broth up, see? It's like top. Oh, he just had a... Oh, it undid it itself. I'm going to add more broth, okay? Now, as you can see, I have the Swanson, and I have this broth, okay? here's the thing. If you got a really, as I said, you got the hungry kids around, or you're feeding, and they're like, I'm hungry. Up this, so that you're heating the chicken and the broth all at the same time, okay? And that is your chicken, oh, hold on, sorry about that. And that is your chicken noodle soup, see? Just had to stir it, okay? Just had to mix it, sorry. Okay? Now, guys, if you have it down on low, okay? So in your thing, you have, you know, turn the handles inward so they are, so no little pipsqueaks are getting at it, okay? Also, you can, you know, if mom, dad, grandma, grandpa are out, and you can make this at home. You're actually able to do it. Put a top on. Ready? And you got your soup. It's all set. Now, this took about 21 minutes from, you know, time. So it could take about 30 minutes. But if you do a lot of prep work ahead of time, and you have a lot of other hands involved, you are all set. So that was chicken noodle soup. And I used whatever noodles I had. I didn't use the actual egg noodles that they had. I used rotini. Not a big deal, okay? So you've made your first chicken noodle soup. You can add vegetables. You can add potatoes. You can add other stuff to it. You can add salt. You can add pepper. You make it to the way you want it. This is just basic. And it's a starting point, okay? Eat well. Take care of yourself. And I'll see you at the next video. Bye.